Welcome to MS Tutors. Today we'll be covering simultaneous equations. This is our lecture series. When we're looking at simultaneous equations, we'll focus on two methods, the elimination method as well as the substitution method. Simultaneous equations help us solve for variables, more than one variable in a particular set of questions or equations. Especially in our CAPS curriculum, we're only dealing with a maximum of two variables in an equation. The first method we'll look into is the elimination method. The goal for the first method is to have one variable. Here we've got an example of y equals to x squared minus x minus 6 and 2x minus y equals to 2. Those are our two equations, and we are asked to solve for x and y simultaneously. Now the first equation is a quadratic, the second equation is a linear. You'll notice that the second equation doesn't have either x or y as the subject of the formula. So for the first thing that we need to do to solve for x and y is to make the second equation have one of the variables as the subject of the formula. And for you to do that, you have to choose the one that doesn't have a coefficient. You have to check the coefficient. So the easier one here will be the y. So we'll make y the subject of the formula, which is y equals to 2x minus 2. And the way we do that is by moving the 2x to the other side. When we do that, we take the additive inverse. Then it will give us negative y equals to 2. Negative y equals to 2 minus 2x. And since we can see that it's negative y, we'll divide both sides by negative 1. And it will be left with y equals to 2x minus 2. So what that means is that that is a longer route. You could have taken the y to the other side and the 2 to the other side. Both take this. What is this? You take the additive inverse of 2, you take the additive inverse of minus 1. After rearranging, so that as you saw that side, we then had a third equation, which is the one with y equals to 2x minus 2. Now, the next method or the next step from that is to subtract equation 3 from equation 1. And when you do that, it's because you realize that y and y, they have the same coefficient, so there's no need for us to multiply any of the equations so that we can have similar coefficients. So it's already done for, like, we already have it, and it's y minus y. Then we have y minus y equals to x squared minus x minus 6 minus open bracket 2x minus 2 close bracket. Now we put a bracket because there's a minus outside, and minus changes signs. Signs are a big thing because we easily overlook them, so brackets help us manage that. Then once you drop the brackets, you will see the sign of the 2x minus 2 changing to be minus 2x plus 2, and that is what we have on our second step. Now when we have it there, it will be 0 equals to y, 0 equals to x squared minus x minus 6 minus 2x plus 2. Simplifying that will leave us with 0 equals to x squared minus 3x minus 4. Now the next thing to do then is to factorize. When we factorize here, we will have x minus 4 and x plus 1. The factors of minus 4 are negative 4 and positive 1. That will give us a negative 3. Now the only way that x minus 4 multiplied by x plus 1 will give us a 0 is if x minus 4 is equal to 0 or x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now for x minus 4 to be equal to 0, it can only be equal to 0 if x is equal to 4, and if x, for the other one, is for x plus 1 to be equal to 0 is if x is equal to negative 1. Now you take those two answers and you substitute them in equation 3 because it's easier. Then you have y equals to 2 into 4 minus 2, and then that will give us an 8 minus 2, which is 6. And the second one, we'll substitute the second x value, which is minus 1, and we'll have y equals to 2 into negative 1 minus 2, and that will be minus 2 minus 2, which is minus 4. So now we get our pairs of answers of x and y values, which is 4 and 6, and negative 1 and negative 4. So this looks like a coordinates or a set of coordinates. You'll see why in the next couple of slides. So here's a quote, a great quote from Richard J. Trudeau. Now this one talks about pure mathematics is the world's best game. It is more absorbing than chess, more of a gamble than poker, and lasts longer than Monopoly. It's free, can be played anywhere. Archimedes did it in a bathtub. Okay. Now we'll be looking at what? The substitution method. Now here it's where you make one variable the subject of the formula. Now we're going to run through the slides as it's similar as the one we had for the elimination method. So if you still have that, or if you don't recall, you can pause and or rewind it just a few seconds earlier. Then for this one, what is important is to have equation 3 and equation 1. So you'll substitute equation 3 into equation 1. Now, there's a slight error there, but nothing is lost in terms of the value. It's y equals to y. And the two y's, one from the linear, one from the quadratic, it'll be 2x minus 2 equals to x squared minus x minus 6. So after that, you have to group the like terms, and you group the like terms by moving 2x minus 2 to the other side of the equal sign, taking the additive inverses of those two terms, and then you will be left with 0 equals to x squared minus 3x plus 4, which is similar to this, to part of the steps in the elimination method. So the factorization, we've already covered that, and you will have the same answer as you had in the previous method. Here's the good code for these times: is life is a math equation. In order to gain the most, you have to know how to convert the negatives into the positives. Anonymous. Now, the bonus one is the graphical method. So although this one is not easy to apply because we don't usually graph our sketches quite accurately, so here it'll be easier. It will make more sense when you do simultaneous equations and functions, because you do them, and you're not necessarily going to use the sketch, but if in such questions, or rather in such, I would say right now, this is the representation of those two values. If you can see here, there's a -1 somewhere here, and you'll see a -4 there, and here you'll see a 4 and a +6 there. So that's where the coordinates will be found in the straight line interacting with this parabola. Now, the last code to live with is the mathematics. As mathematics may not teach us to add love or subtract hate, but it gives us hope that every problem has a solution. By Anonymous. Now, would like to thank you from MS Tutors, and if you would like to book our lessons, you can visit, or you can email us at book@mstutors.co.za, or visit our website at www.mstutors.co.za. Thank you.